somehow already mid to late January, which means if I want to do a most anticipated games of 2023, I've got to do it now before it's entirely obsolete. I'm going to start with honorable mentions because there's a whole bunch of them. 1, Elden Ring DLC. That's definitely the thing I'm most excited about, but I don't actually know for sure if it'll come out in 2023, so I'm hedging my bets. There's also a ton of remakes coming out. Dead Space, Resident Evil, System Shock I think is getting a remake this year. I'm not putting any of those on my list because then that would be the whole list, and that is a boring list. Based on everything I've seen and played of Demonschool so far, I am really, really excited about it, and it should be on my top 10 list, but I'm working for the game studio that is putting it out in Necrosoft Games, so I kind of felt weird about putting it on the list. The last honorable mention is Hollow Knight, Silksong, and Lies of P, because I also don't know if I think either of those will actually come out this year. I'll believe it when I see them, but I am excited about both of them. Okay, here's the actual list. Number 10 is Armored Core 6. Don't care about giant mechs, never played an Armored Core game, but anything that From Software puts out is a game that I'm gonna play. Number 9, Killer Klowns from Outer Space, the game. Why? Killer Klowns from Outer Space is such a weird, deep cult cut for horror fans, so if you're making a game out of it, I have to assume that you are like a really hardcore, die-hard horror fan, and that makes me really excited about the game. Number 8 is Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. This game is clearly inspired by Jet Set Radio, which was this incredible game from the 2000s. It had a killer soundtrack, and they got the composer from Jet Set Radio for Bomb Rush Cyberfunk. I feel like games have only just sort of caught up to the neon art aesthetic of Jet Set Radio, and I'm glad they have, because it's great. Number 7 is Cassette Beasts. This game is like Pokemon Fusion, the game. I'm really excited about that. I love Pokemon Fusions. I like just clicking through and seeing what different weird Pokemon you get. So the idea that this game is taking that and making that like a central part of its gameplay, I think it's really cool. Number 6 is Redfall. I love Arcane Studios. I really didn't care much about Deathloop, but I loved Prey, and I was really disappointed by all of the other Left 4 Dead alikes that came out recently, so really hoping Redfall doesn't disappoint me. Number 5 is Atomic Heart. This game had its announcement trailer like years ago, and it got a lot of attention and it got a lot of hype, and then it disappeared, and I've been waiting this whole time for it. I don't know what all of that long silence was about, so it could be just a weird truncated vision of what the original plan was, or maybe it's going to be a great game. Regardless, I think it has a really interesting aesthetic, and I hope it is able to fulfill the promises it's made. Number 4 is Schim. You play as a little shadow, hopping from shadow to shadow. Looks like it's just a fun puzzle platformy kind of game with an interesting core concept. I'm excited about it. Number 3 is Nine Souls. So, this is the new game from Red Candle Games, and if you're not familiar with this studio, they made Detention and Devotion, 2 of, I would say, the best horror games that have come out in the last decade. You can't actually buy Devotion anymore because of some censorship issues with China, but I'm really happy that the studio is still out there, still making games. This one doesn't look like a horror game, but I'm excited about it anyway. Number 2 is Slitterhead, and just saying the word Slitterhead makes me uncomfortable, which is why I'm really excited about this. This game is being made by Keiichiro Toyama, who is the mind behind Silent Hill and Siren, 2 of the most important and best horror games to have ever come out. And he's back at it with Slitterhead! Number 1 on my most anticipated games of 2023 is Hades 2, early access. Woo! Gen Z said we get to be horny this year!